Okay, guys, so we're here back on the live stream. I'm here with Robin from Triple Ace Games.
Hello.
But before we get stuck into what we're doing here, just a quick note about the raffle that we're doing. And so as you can see, we're playing on a really cool Geek and Sun table here, checking out some really cool games and that kind of thing. You can actually get involved with the raffle for this. So all you got to do is go over onto their website and check out their little raffle competition. You answer a simple question, it's £5 per raffle ticket, and once you do that, you might get a chance of running away with this amazing table. Well, I think you might be dragging it away, I think, because it's quite big and hefty.
It's lovely.
It is an amazing table, isn't it? But yes, as I say, we're here with Triple Ace Games, and we're going to be looking at some of your stuff here.
Yep.
There's two in particular that we're looking at here. So the first one of these is Ironclad, which some people may have seen before. So I'm going to just a little closer in so you can see these really cool little ships and everything.
Yeah.
So here's Ironclad, you can see.
So this is actually what we're selling this weekend. It's a very
this is available
limited
here at the con.
This is available. Yeah. You can buy it. It's a very limited run of the resin cast miniatures, which are beautifully detailed, and I can imagine anybody that buys these will desire them and want to paint them immediately, because I do. So, but yeah. So let me talk about Ironclad.
Yeah, take us through how it works.
Yeah. So I think you have seen this. Last year we brought a very early version of the game that we were sort of wanting to show some people and get some interest. And the premise of this whole miniatures thing that we've got into is being able to 3D print these at home.
Okay.
So so we wanted to develop a game that was easy to get into if you've got the 3D printing stuff.
Yeah, because that's becoming a lot more of a big thing now, isn't it? Getting to 3D printing and learning that at home. Because a lot of people, you get it, even with sort of lower end stuff as well, people can get some really cool, nice models out of it.
Yeah.
I think so. It's really cool.
And obviously, at the moment, there are companies out there that have developed like dungeon terrain and stuff like that, and it's really cool because I've got lots of it. And I bought a 3D printer a couple of years ago, and as soon as I got it, I could see so much potential, and wanted to do something in the tabletop area of 3D printing. So we have Triple Ace Games has done a lot of role-playing games over the years. It's our 10th year, by the way.
Oh, cool.
We're celebrating our 10th anniversary this year. So over the years, we've developed lots of different cool settings for our role-playing games. And one of those is called Leagues of Adventure, which is set in Victorian times, and it's a kind of a pulpy steampunk that kind of setting. Uses the Ubiquity system as a role-playing system, which is comes from Hollow Earth, the Hollow Earth game that was developed by an American company called Exile Games.
Oh, cool.
And we basically get to play around in this cool setting. And one of the things that come out of it was Ironclad. So we thought about the fact that the Victorian science would develop some kind of rocket ships and steamships that would take you up to...
As we'll see here on the table,
So this is what we've developed as a tactical miniatures tabletop game that you can 3D print. So when we got an idea to release this in the third quarter of this year, as soon as I finish writing the rule books. And you'll get a whole digital package of rule books and the STL files that you can print these at home. So let's look at the miniatures in detail. So here we've got on the table, these are the British faction, and we've got a fighter and a destroyer.
Yeah, so I'm going to just show these off on the camera so you can see here. So this one's the fighter.
That's the fighter. So the cool thing about these, if I may, is everything's modular. So these weapons, they come off, they're magnetically connected. So I really wanted to design a game where you could design or kind of make up your ships by placing different gadgets on them, so they've got different weapons and defenses. And some of them,
if you want to change things up on these ships, you can switch out the weapons.
Yeah. So the idea is that there's the meta game. So you're at home, you think about what fleet you want to build. There are rules for construction points for the amount of ships you can put in a fleet, and then within each individual ship you've got construction points for developing that ship. So if you want a particular weapon, you have to spend a number of points, but you can also boost your speed with different types of engines. You can boost your steering ability to make them more maneuverable on the table. So all these things you can design and play around with. So yeah, you might want a really big gun on that ship, but it then will steer like a pig and won't go very fast. So we like those ideas of having choices, and of course, when you get to the table and you've thought about this, you might not win because you'll be outdone by your opponents who've already thought about it and designed a different tactic or strategy to beat you. So then you go away, you take the model apart, and you start again, and you come back to the table.
Try something else with the different tactical loadout and stuff like that.
So that's what's cool about this game is, we loved X-Wing, but you're stuck with what they give you. With this game, you can go mad, and it is. I mean, I'll be honest. It's developed for those traditional hobby gamers that want to model, want to paint, want to build, want to kind of kit bash their models and that kind of stuff. So let me tell you a little bit how it plays.
Give me a run through of sort of like some basic mechanics of how these ships work.
Absolutely.
So we go down to the table and see how this all comes together.
So all these kind of templates and stuff you get in this starter pack that we showed you.
So I'll show a couple of these off under the camera.
So these
tiny dials and stuff.
So these are called flight templates. So they have numbers on them, which is the amount of steering that you have to spend to get around the table. So on a model, if we just show this, we basically build a path. So going straight across will cost you no steering points, but if you want to turn, that'll cost you one, and if you want to do a steeper turn, that costs you 3 points in total. Okay. So, and each of your ships obviously has a stat where it tells you how much steering you've got. So that's basically the movement in a nutshell. It's really simple. You place your templates down, and
I was going to say there's very little room for error, because it's one of these things where as soon as you place these down, because of the way that the bases work and everything like that, it just easily folds together very nicely, and you can immediately see the difference between the movement values and stuff as well, because of what you're doing on the table. It's cool.
It's really straightforward. And we've also got an interesting way that you command your fleet. So we've got these tokens here, right? So we got German ones and British ones. So
show these off on the camera. Yeah. So you've got some things.
Yeah. So if you flip them over, you'll see different symbols on the other side.
Okay.
So you're placing these secretly on the tabletop. So you have to place them to activate your ships. Yeah. So in Victorian times, there's no radios. So the orders for the commands for these ships have to be sent using little capsules that you have to pick up in space.
Right.
So these represent those orders that you get, and you pick them up as you go through. So on the tabletop, we have to think, right, okay, I need to activate this ship first, but where's it going to end up in the future? Is it going to be over here? So then I have to think ahead, but the ship's still here. I have to plan where these tokens go, so that when I've moved the next turn, I will be able to activate. And I won't go into too much detail because there's a lot of different symbols, but basically
Ben, we have a special guest for you.
We do. We also have another game that we're going to be looking at as well with these guys from AAA's games. So this is Exploriana, which we will check out in a little bit as we'll just finish off what we're doing here, and then we'll move on. But
so these symbols, they do different things like engagements and maneuvers. They also have things like they give you extra dice when you're rolling your combat damage. So they're flavoured for the different.
We'll just scooch over a little bit as well, just
we flavoured them for different actions, so they have slightly different skills. So that's how you command your fleet. And once you get into range, you have to then measure. Again, in the pack, we give you this measuring device, and it's basically in inches. That seems to be the best way to do a tabletop game. Just keep to 2 inches. So
everyone knows their inches.
Everybody knows their inches. So
I'll just show this off.
Yeah.
As well.
So there's basically 4 ranges: there's close, short, medium, and long. And once you've declared your combat shot, you have to measure to make sure that you're in range. And the weapons work at different ranges. So some of them are more efficient at close range, and some of them work better at long range.
Cool. Yeah.
So we're developing this game still. We're going to launch a Kickstarter for the 3D printable version first.
Right.
You'll be able to purchase the whole game for around about £35.
Pretty cool.
That will give you a rule book, a faction book for each faction, and there's going to be 3 factions at launch: the British, the Germans, and the Americans. And you'll get all that as a digital package, PDFs, etc. and we then also have a mission book that we're putting together. And because we've got such a wonderful world behind this, there's going to be we're planning on like a story arc and a releasing of different missions over the following year.
Very cool. Just quickly as well, so how long does a game typically take to play?
It depends on the size of your fleet.
Yeah.
But you know, with sort of 5 or 6 miniatures in your fleet, you can play in an hour and a half.
Very cool. Very cool indeed.
Yeah.
So from miniatures games, we're going to move on to something a little bit different. So I think we need to learn more about this intrepid explorer that's come into our midst.
Indeed.
And learn about what's it called? Exploriana.
Exploriana, yes. Late from the jungle myself. So,
this is Dickie, by the way.
indeed.
Hello,
Yes. Sorry, I
Dickie.
probably should introduce myself.
You're a very fine gentleman indeed.
Indeed. So we have our board here,
So yeah, we're going to show this off.
and a series of beautiful cards. Right.
Sorry about the glare there, but we'll see.
These high quality components you can't deal with. So we have.
That's it.
There we go. I've got it right.
That's
now.
beautiful.
We have 3 decks. We have South America.
South American deck. Yeah. Oops, sorry, I've got off camera. Boom! You can tell I'm a professional.
It works.
We've got Africa.
Africa.
And then we've got the Far East as well.
Far East, which is all featuring some really amazing looking artwork, even on these cards here, as you can see.
So that's
Wait until you see the other side.
yeah. Those are just the card.
Oh, I've had a
backs.
peek. I've had a peek.
So basically, it's a push your luck game.
Okay.
Where you are traveling through the 3 continents, and you decide how far you want to go.
Okay.
In terms of points, set collection. So really simple. Some of them are going to give you more points the more you've got of them. Some of them are going to give you points if you've got certain sets, and some of them are just going to give you different ways of becoming more lethal later in the game. I say lethal, I mean intrepid. That's the word I was looking for. But yeah, so renown and coin are the 2 kind of currencies that we have. So we've got renown. Sorry, can I have?
Yeah.
Yes, I have a deck. I'll be able.
There we go.
Okay, so
If there's anything you want to show on the proper close cam, just pass it to me and I'll show it off. Here.
renown is the rosette that you'll see there. Okay. And then there are treasure cards that are going to give you coins as well. Okay. The real trick of this game, though, are the hazards. So there's 3 different hazards, as you'll see in the bottom corner of the cards. If you get 3 of the same of those, or 3 different ones, then your adventurer is lost in the wilds, and we add a Lost Explorer token to the board.
These tokens here.
Yeah. So they've got lovely little pith helmets on them to show that there's a Lost Explorer. You push your luck until you get 5 cards, or you want to stop. If you want to stop before 5 cards, so 4 cards or less, you get 1 pick. So you can either take all of the animals to study, so take documentation of them. You could take one of the treasure, location, or renown cards. Or you could rescue one of the Lost Explorers that's got stuck so far. Okay. So yeah, that's a really nice mechanic as well.
Maybe I should just have a quick explore.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yes. Do some stuff. So let's get down to the game board and see how this will all come together.
Just to say that I'm involved with the project too, because this is a joint project between AAA Games, a company called Chaos Publishing. The designer of this is Miles Ratcliffe, who's a part of the Chaos Publishing team. Yeah. And Dickie is representing Counters Out, and they're a publishing company that are a subsidiary of Chance Encounters Cafe and Board Game Cafe in Bristol. Oh, cool. So it's a cool collaboration with the 3 of us, and so every player gets 2 explorers. So what you would do, you place explorers in the zones that you want to explore. So we have 3 different explorers in there. So I'm yellow, so I get to go first, and I get.
So we always start with 2 cards set up.
So
there'd be 2 cards in each of these decks.
Yes, that's a good point. Yes. So you always get a chance to see what.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Let's do that one there.
Do with gadget arms, couldn't we?
Yeah. So,
Live TV, folks.
yeah,
Live TV,
yeah, no,
so-
it's difficult. You know, never work with board games or board games designers. That's what I say. So
So you would have been there. And
I
you
would be there.
first.
So
You've got these two
I
cards
retrieved
here,
my
so-
Explorer to say that well, actually, he probably ought to stay there in case he gets lost. So, yeah, okay. So I've drawn. It's a bit tricky because we've already got 2 hazards. So I'm going to push my luck and see what happens. So we've got 2. So Dickie was saying that if you get 3 and
3 of a
3,
kind, so as we can see here, if we look a little bit closer,
yeah,
so we've got 3 of a kind. We've got 2 here. So it's one of those things where if you push it
Yes.
any further, you might end up with 3
So
of those and you're stuck. So
because there's 2 animals here, I might just think, oh, I could just stop there and take the animals. But you know, I'm not that cautious. I'm actually going to push my luck.
push your luck, dive deeper.
Oh, and there we go. I would be bust because we got 3 different ones.
Right.
So,
Okay.
So that's pretty unlucky because this is the easiest place to
Exactly.
So
I mean, there is always an incentive to go further as well because 5 cards allows you 2 picks out of the 3 options as well.
Right.
So you've got an
okay.
incentive to get to the 5. I've just been playing this with a couple demoing it, and they were very, very keen to get to the 5 cards to their
They were very reckless.
to their regret.
Reckless,
Yes.
or as we said, intrepid explorers.
Intrepid. Yeah, let's stick with that.
So if that had happened in a real game, I get my Explorer comes back, but we put a token on the board here, and when you do that, you get a choice of either. Is that right? So you get a choice of the renown or the gold,
Or the gold.
as a kind of a prize for losing. as it were. So then,
It's one of those things where you can push yourself, and obviously you're going to get all the rewards out of this. But when it comes down to it, at least you're getting something out of your intrepid adventure.
Exactly.
So
then at that point we take all the cards, we shuffle them back up.
Oh, okay. So they're
Okay.
always reshuffled
Yeah.
every time you do this. Then that's cool.
So every time it goes bust, they're
Yeah,
reshuffled.
reshuffled.
However, if
And-
you're successful, they'll stay on the deck.
So then we reset, and then the next person can have a go. So
Okay.
that's the basic mechanic.
Very cool.
But,
Yeah, we've found that people are really loving the artwork. It's really nice that it's kind of a local thing. So I'm head of games at Chance Encounters as well as my role of Counters Out.
Let's show some of the artwork because it is glorious.
Miles, our designer, he was a guru at Chance Encounters as well. And our artist actually is the guy who lives above Chance Encounters. He just happens to be an incredible artist. So it does feel a little bit like a really family affair.
I love the giraffe and the lion is one of my favourite pictures.
They're
So
very cool.
They're very cool.
They've got in a very nice style to them, which fits with the kind of game that we're putting together here, which is really cool.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I very much like that.
Well, we've gone really in on the details. So the coins are exactly as they would have been in 1893, with Queen Victoria on one side. And the actual design from the coin on the other.
Wow, that's awesome stuff.
And we've also, so one of the mechanics as well is that before each round there is an auction phase using some of these items that you can get, which allow you various abilities and tweaks to things. So they'll either give you
those up on the camera there.
Yeah, so they'll either give you a way to adjust scoring at the end, so end game scoring mechanics, instant bonuses, or little abilities that are going to help you again be a bit more intrepid.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So how long does the game of this normally take then?
So we're looking at about 45 minutes playtime.
Well, that's pretty good. Then.
And works 2 to 5. We reckon kind of 3 to 5 is perfect.
Yeah.
But we do have 2-player variant rules that are really going to help 2-player games be that bit more engaging and add a bit of
I think
intrigue.
I think definitely 4 plays is the sweet spot on this one.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
to get that 45-minute play, it might be a bit long with the 5 players, especially if you get
yeah.
somebody who's going, I don't know what to do.
They've got someone who's got analysis paralysis.
yeah.
That's the thing. So, yeah.
That could happen to any
Of course,
game.
yeah. And so this is available for people to come and pick up, is it, or
So
is it coming very soon?
we are going to be on Kickstarter in September.
Kickstarter
First week
in
of September is when you should look out for.
Wicked.
You can join our mailing list on explorianagame.com or come see us at stand 1F6 and we will give you all the.
And you can play a demo.
cool.
You can play a demo as well.
play with-
Yeah, because obviously we've only shown up a little tiny slice of what happens with this game here, but obviously if you want to go and get involved with that, you can go and check out their stand, as they say,
Yeah.
which is very cool indeed. And so the final game we're going to be looking at It's one called Aru. I
Yes.
believe. So I'm just going to slide this down over there.
So this one is a real special for the Expo because
So I'm just going to show off this fancy little box.
yeah, it's a what looks like a deceptively simple card game, but it actually is a bit of a brain burner. This one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Fair enough.
And it's got a really clever little mechanic. Let me just set
let's set up a bit and see if we can.
So basically everybody that's playing in the game is an Egyptian god. Okay, and they're
I do see myself as a little bit of an Egyptian god.
Yeah.
So
Exactly, and the gods like to play cards, of course, and they like to play cards for souls. They like to gather souls.
Okay.
So we've got some wooden discs here, and they represent different types of souls. And in fact, the red ones are demons. Okay.
Ooh.
So the other ones are like the VIP Pharaoh souls, the ones that they're worth more points, and the white ones are the simple folk that are only worth 1 point. But still worthy of collecting for your afterlife.
Exactly. A soul is still a soul.
Yes, exactly. It's important to gather them. So the game has 45 cards in the set, and you have 5 different suits. So you've got flailing crooks. That's called the Tayet symbol, and we have a lotus symbol, Eye of Horus, and of course an Ankh.
Of course.
So you've got the 5 different suits.
Yeah.
And this game is a trick-taking game,
okay.
and you there is a trump element to it, so you can, not Donald Trump, just to say, it's a trumping trick card-taking game. So, but the cool thing is that when you're dealt some cards, one of the cards is handed to you face out, and you can't see. The player can't see what this card is, and I have to play to win tricks. But as I'm playing, and it works basically that the highest card is the person that starts the trick. You have to follow the suit, and if you can get the highest card, then obviously you win the trick.
Right.
However, during the game, as I'm playing these cards to win the tricks, I can gain feedback on the card that I can't see.
Right.
So every card that I play will give me some kind of information about what this card is.
Yeah.
And of course, I can see everybody else's cards, and all the opponents can see my card. So they can tell me what this card is, if this card is something that I could have played to win the trick.
Okay.
So at certain points in the game, they'll shout, Aru! Okay, and that tells me I could have played that card to win the trick. So if I have then, we have basically 7 rounds to play through the cards.
Yeah.
And I have all that time to figure out what this card is. Cool. And if during the game that I can play it legally, win that trick, then I gain one of these special VIP Pharaoh souls, which are worth 3 points at the end of the game.
So there's a little bit of deduction based in there with the trick taking and stuff. You're trying to work out what's going on.
Exactly. So that's what's the cool thing. Everybody's played trick taking card games, but this is really different, and it makes you start to think, what's been played, and what have I played, and so the demons come in. If I do get feedback, if I hear them saying Aru to me, that means I've actually gained a demon. Okay, so at the end of the game, for every demon that I've got, it cancels out one of my souls. So although the feedback's quite useful, you don't really want it. You want to be able to guess it without having that kind of feedback.
Okay. Very cool.
So there are some other things that the cards do. There are the first 1, 2, 3, 4 cards in each suit has a special skill. So one of the things is at the beginning of the game, 2 cards are dealt randomly, and it's better to have 2 separate. Right. These 2 cards are the trump cards. The higher one is the higher power trump card, and the lower one is the lower power trump card. Okay. So you can play those. If you can't legally follow suit, you can use these to trump and obviously win the trick.
Right.
Okay. And the 1 to 4 cards, this card here can actually change out one of the trump cards, so you can change it from one in your hand. So you can obviously then set it up that if you've got more trump cards in your hand, you can actually set it up to make it more powerful. This one allows you to swap cards from your hand into an opponent's hand. This one allows you to ditch a card to the bottom of the deck and draw a new card. And this one's very cool. If you get to play that one, instead of the highest card winning the trick, it's the low card winning the trick. So
okay, so you got some nice sort of like the nice trick-taking elements in there that people will be familiar with, but then they're also doing a couple of interesting new things and changing things up. So you've got a couple of new elements for people to learn.
Absolutely, yeah. And these ones here, every card above 4 has a scarab on, and these are the ones that we secretly pass to our opponent so that they get their pharaoh card at the beginning of the game. So that's how it works, and that is Aru, and we've had a lot of fun with it already this weekend. We've only got a limited run on this, and it's available. It's not been available anywhere else. If you want to come and have a demo, F6 in the hall 1, and we'll be glad to take you through it.
And so, are all these games available for people to go and check out over on your booth?
Absolutely.
So you've got Ironclad, you've got Exploriana, and everything.
We're running demos of all of the games we featured, and so you can pick up Ironclad's starter deck, which has got 6 miniatures in it. And
just show that off again.
Just to remind people, it costs £40, and I think that's a real bargain for what you get in the box with 6 miniatures, with all the weapons. I've already mounted all the magnets, so you can already fit all the weapons on there.
That's so kind of you to do that.
It took hours. I don't want to talk about it.
You're such a kind soul.
I know. I'm a nutcase, I think. So,
I'm definitely going to try and sneak over to your guys' booth at some point if I'm not busy and have a go. I really want to have a go at Exploriana. I think it looks fantastic. I love that kind of push your look element in games. It's something that's really interesting, and I like that you've got a whole bunch of different ways to be rewarded for the different ways you play that through as well. So that's really cool.
So we'll be demoing that at the stand, but we'll also be throughout the weekend going around through the open gaming area and look out for me and my pretty stupid.
I was going to say, it's not going to be hard to miss this guy. So.
Yeah.
With that amazing moustache.
But so I'll be demoing it in the open play area, so look out for me there as well.
We've got a couple of Exploriana tabletop banners, so you can spot Dickie
a
mile away. So yeah, please do grab a copy. It'll be a demo. Sorry. You can't get it quite yet, but
watch out for that one.
Yeah. It's going to retail for around £25 to £30 on Kickstarter. When we get it there. So
there you go, guys. Quick look at some of the games here that are coming out from Triple. So you've got Aru there, we've got Ironclad, which is something a little bit different if you're a miniatures gamer, and there's Exploriana for those people that want to get stuck into a bit more of a bigger board game as well. So there's some very cool stuff. We're going to check out all the things that we're doing over the rest of the weekend. We're doing live streams like this one, talking to lovely people like. We're also doing a live blog as well. You can win some amazing prizes, which is very cool. You can comment on that. And of course, as we mentioned,
I want this table.
I know. He really wants this table. I reckon he's going to take this away and run off.
I'm not sure my wife would approve it.
But it works for dinner as well as gaming. It's perfect.
We'll see.
But some amazing stuff here from the guys at Geek and Sun as they're doing this raffle. So as we said, all you got to do is go over onto their website, check out their raffle page there. You answer a simple question, put in all your details, pay £5 for a raffle ticket, and you could run away with an amazing Geek and Sun table of your own to play some games like these ones you've seen here on the stream at home as well. So thanks again, guys. That was really fantastic talking to you.
Thank you.
We're going to move on and check out some more games very, very soon for you.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.